at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Oh, look at me. I'm retarded. I'm a globe.
The whole system is designed to disconnect you from your intuition. Why? Disconnected people are easy to manipulate. Everything from sunscreen to politics to the food industry. It's all designed to disconnect and manipulate you. We are in the middle of a war right now, but it's not a traditional war. It's a war on consciousness. It's a war on freedom. This is the time to listen, not to the news. No, your intuition, your gut, your heart. Love is the greatest weapon against darkness. How do you love more? You begin by loving yourself. How do you love yourself? You listen to the messages your body is telling you.
Nobody is coming to save you. Get up. Be your own hero.
I'm scared, Dad.
Do you trust me, son?
Yes.
Come on, son. Rule number 1, never trust anybody.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind, coming to you 250 miles above your imagination from the International Fake Station. I'm up here with my good friend and co-pilot Something Wong, and I think he's microwaving a pizza back there right now. I think that's what he's got going on. But anyway, we had a long talk. He's no longer going to dry his underwear up into the circuitry. It was giving us a mess. Communications were a problem. We're just not going to have it anymore. So we worked it out. Everything's good, and that's why he is still smiling. Look at he's a happy little fella back there. He really is. He's a nice guy. So anyway, here we are. What a night. What a crazy night. What is this? Thursday. And we're still in the freezing temperatures. Talking about getting me some light snow this Sunday, but look it's warm. It's 36 degrees out there today. That was kind of nice. A little bit of a welcome change from the teens that we'd been experiencing in the low 20s. That was just some of the most obnoxious fucking weather that I've ever, well, no, I can't say that I've ever encountered. It's just encountered in a long time. And I'm starting to think maybe I haven't moved far enough south. But then I hear people in Florida were getting very, very cold temperatures as well. I did you guys a favor. I'll put it in the chat and I'll put it in the description of the video tonight. I told everybody the other night about a really good movie and you can watch it on the Internet Archive. It's from 1977, and it's about the MK Ultra. And one of the cool things we know that MK Ultra, the K in it is it's mind control, but it's the German spelling of control, so they have a K. This is because this was developed by Nazi scientist, primarily a Dr. Mengele, who was brought over here, went to China Lake Naval Air Weapons Station under the guise of Dr. Green, and continued his study in this mind control experiments. Well, the name of the movie is Telephone, but it is also spelled like in German, Telefon. It's starring Charles Bronson, and it's really interesting. There's like I'll just give you a little piece of it. There's a guy gets a phone call. He's like a bank president or some shit. I forget. I want to watch it again. Maybe we'll do a movie night this weekend, and I'll show it on the Rumble channel. But it's crazy. His secretary says, "Mr. So-and-so, you have a call." And he says, "Okay." And he picks it up. And he goes, "Hello." And somebody unknown just whispers a Robert Frost poem, a line out of a Robert Frost poem. And he just kind of glitches, and he hangs up the phone, goes over to the safe, takes out this gun. He goes and kills this dude and then blows himself away. And it's like, oh, wow. And so it's in the whole scheme of the MK Ultra thing. So it's really an interesting movie. I'd almost forgotten about it, and then something reminded me of it the other night, and I was like, oh shit. And I went in and I looked on Internet Archive, and it is there. Let me grab the link real quick. I'll put it in the chat, and I'm also going to put it down in the description of the show tonight. Let me put it over here, and let me put it over in the Rumble side too, just in case there's anybody over there. And I think, okay, we're good to go. Nice. So the trolls are going fucking ballistic here recently. They're seeing a rearing of the ugly head of some of these toxicity channels, as I like to call them. They don't really have anything, so they have to just talk shit about other people. You know who they are. Psychopaths that have ranted on about people should self-delete themselves, and people should go delete people that celebrate Christmas when there's no snow on the ground. I mean, some real psycho bullshit. And talking to people who were actually going through emotional crises at the time, and it would have been very possible for them to carry out due to this craziness. But anyway, I guess if you don't really have anything and you want to try to build yourself up, you can attempt to try to drag others down, but I'm not even going to acknowledge it. I did see some duplicitous fucking people from over here, ABC, not to mention any fucking names, but yeah, not coming back. Not coming back. No. I'm not going with your fucking rising earth. I don't even know what the fuck the toxicity channels. That's another thing too. Even though my channel is Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind, just about everybody knows my name. I'm very open about the area where I live and everything. My whereabouts and everything else is public knowledge, right? I don't hide behind anything. I don't hide behind some spiritual Eastern mystic fucking made up name. I don't hide behind a letter, right? I'm pretty fucking open about it. And that's because when I'm on here, I am no different than I am in person. Okay. I am exactly the same way. I don't put on an act. I have nothing to gain here. Nothing to lose either, but I don't have anything to gain. The only thing I make is through the occasional donations that I receive from some of the gracious people that visit my channel, like the content that I put out. I do provide a link for that. And so that's about it. But as far as being some kind of a thing where I'm selling shirts and, go to my Flattober Fest and, all this shit. And that's another thing, man. That kind of looks like, to me, like there's some kind of a club around that shit as well, you know? And so I'm kind of examining some shit. I really am examining some shit, you know, and I'm doing it with a real critical eye. And I do believe that there is like this little club that's in here trying to fucking control and steer how people are going to react, how people are going to think. And I think that they rely on that perception deception to get away with that bullshit. Okay. And if they can't get away with using the perception deception of their status or their self-perceived status, then they're going to try the mockery and ridicule campaign, which I don't know. You've been around me for 2 years here, a lot of you. And does that work on me? Do I respond to it? No, it doesn't work to me. I don't give a shit. So when I see somebody out there that wants to throw shit in my direction like that, it's like, I have to consider the source. I don't care. Okay, first of all, I don't fucking care. I think it is funny. I do think it's funny. Now, that's not to say I won't throw the occasional jab out there, because you got to love Sean Hawkins. Holy cow. You know, I mean, the poor little demon possessed bastard, it's comical. I mean, and then he'll get out there with his little haughty fucking shit, and he comes out and he says, you know, oh, you're stupid because you don't know that a pound of gold weighs more than a pound of feathers. And I'm thinking, wait a second, man. That one got by you in grade school, man. You actually think that, you know? It's like, I told my grandson that shit. He's like, what? You know, because I tried that trick on him. And he was like, no, he says, they're both a pound. And I said, there you go, you're thinking. So, you know, it just cracks me up that, I don't know, it's almost like they want to divide up into camps. I'm like this, you know, I see bullshit. I'm going to say, I see some bullshit. You know, where's my little thing here? I'll show you. I have this little meter. It's really cool. Right here. Yeah, see there? And so when that bullshit meter gets up to fucking high, you know, I'm going to say it, you know, hey, there's bullshit here. You know, are you going to fault me for that? No, I hope not, because I have a very critical mind. I need extraordinary proofs for extraordinary claims. I'm tired of these jackasses trying to grab a hold and say, well, you don't have a working map. Let me tell you something. Nobody does. All right. Nobody does. They got fiddle faddle and all these different types of maps, but they all have their problems. And the problems arise because they're trying to make the fucking thing be a globe. I think it's bigger than what they say, even from the Gleason standpoint. I think it's bigger because you have vast areas of ocean that are just like, hey, wait a minute. This ain't working out right. Those are all calculated distances mixed in with statute miles. And then under a tightly controlled royal decree, they cannot publish the map unless they use the already established global coordinates. Even if somebody went out there and did their own, all the fucking observations, all this, everything, it will not be published. Okay. So I'm sick and tired of people bitching and complaining about a map. I had some ass hat on Facebook and he says, well, you know, I says, when have you ever used a world map for anything? When have you ever used a world map for navigation? Never. Never have you ever used one for that. Because they asked me, what map do you use? And I said, well, I usually use a Rand McNally map, specifically of the area that I'm traveling in. You know, what the fuck do you use? You know, so nobody's using a world map to begin with to do that. And the closest one that they do use and still use, despite Duffy's little trip down to fucking Antarctica, is the azimuthal equidistant map. They didn't stop using the map, Will. Guess what? They didn't stop using the map. But I'm seeing a lot of people losing their fucking minds over this shit. The trolls, that's something I wanted to talk about here for a few minutes. On Facebook, there's this group, and oh my God, one of its members in this group, you might remember him from maybe over a year ago or so, this guy, Martin Gouliet. who came on this show. He was the guy when I said, well, prove that the weight is due to gravity. And he goes, well, because it is. I was like, good response. I mean, this guy, and he's still triggered over that. He's still triggered that he looked like a complete asshat on my show. So we've got this group, and I'm going to put the link down here in the chat. Let me see. Real quick, I need to go to share. Here we go. No. That's not the way I want it. I want it to be. I had the link for it. There we go. Share the group. No, well, yeah, there we go. Copy the link. And I'm going to put it down here. Now, I want you to, if you get a chance, go over this group, join to it. And there's a guy that I want to introduce you to, Billy Madison. Now, of course, that's not his real name. Again, these shittards always want to hide behind a false identity. Okay, always, right? Whether it's Z or whether it's fucking Nachikita or whoever the fuck else. I don't know. That tells me a lot right there. Now, my information is public information. Okay. Somebody finds out where I live. I don't give a flying fuck. Go ahead. What are you going to do? Come visit me? That would probably not be a good idea. Not in a hostile way, I'm sure. Okay. So I don't hide behind any of that bullshit. And to me, if you're scared of that, well, then get the fuck on someplace. Go on someplace. If you're not afraid to speak your truth, the same as I do online, just like I do out in public, just like I do anywhere else, then get the fuck on down the road. Ain't nobody need your goddamn nonsense. You know what I say? So anyway, this is, I'm going to put the group down here again. And you want to look for this guy, Billy Madison. And what was interesting, this guy got bent out of shape, completely bent out of shape. He put up some post on here about some King Nico, an ancient Egyptian guy who proved that the earth was a globe. And I said, it sounds like another made up stories like Aaron Krusty Knees, right? Oh my God, he got fucking bent out of shape over that. And another guy chimed in and said, yeah, well, King Nico IV proved that it was actually flat. Oh my God, then he lost his mind. He blocked that guy and then went on this campaign of looking up my address, looking up pictures of my house, posted them in the thing. And I was like, well, what are you going to do? Come over and party? No, but you'll say something and somebody's going to come over. I'm like, wait a second. You're wishing someone to, you're not willing to do it yourself, right? But you're so triggered that you would want to someone else on your behalf, because you're a pussy, to exact violence on me because I don't believe your story about King Nico II. Now, I just want you to think about that. Because I don't believe your stupid bullshit about your globe or none of that. That is going to make you want to go and exact violence, or better yet, have someone else exact violence on me. Because why? Why? I don't know. These are the kind of unhinged people, and this is what these trolls are like. They lash out with their anger. And this is, I guess somebody told me earlier, they said, oh, you're the topic of discussion right now, and sent me a link. And I clicked on it and I looked, and it was that ferret face motherfucker that broadcast from his mom's basement with all the lights out. What's it? Zetetic Warrior, Z. And that guy that used to live in a cave in Tibet or whatever, the mystical fucking nacho cheese guy, whatever the fuck. And I thought, well, I don't even give a flying rat's ass what either one of those fucking agents have to say. Okay. And yes, they're agents. And I know I'm over the target. I know that this is why I've been receiving a lot of attacks online lately. I've been receiving a lot of attacks. And I already know why. You get the most flack when you're over the target. Okay. And I'm actually bringing people to a place of reality with what I do say. When I warn people about getting caught up in the deception, the perception deception, you know, and this false sense of familiarity that one might have towards someone, a personality you see on YouTube or on television or what have you, or even in a history book for that matter. You don't know these fucking people. Okay, you don't know me. That's why I'm just going to be, you know, straight up about whatever I see and what I feel, and that's the only place I'm going to go with that. You know, and if that rubs somebody the wrong fucking way, well then hey, have fun with it. I don't care. That's your problem. That's your problem. We're not going to be having Angela Baby Carson in here anymore either. Sorry. Moderators, if she comes into the chat for any reason, just block her. Okay. What a duplicitous bitch. I was reading the shit she was inciting in the chat of that show. I didn't watch it. I had it paused and I was just looking at the chat and see what was being said. And I kept seeing her shit coming up and I was like, fuck you. Fuck you. I already see, you know, over 2 years, and I've seen how that is. She comes in here, she picks fights with people. One primarily Renee Bernays, she likes to pick fights with her and shit. Says, oh, this is, and tries to claim like she thought of this shit. And it's not. It's whatever her old man says. That's what she fucking goes with. Just join some kind of a fucking club of some kind, you know? I don't know. And I don't need those type of people. I have a really good audience, and I want to keep it that way. And I find that to be like a weed in the audience. So that being said, let me just kind of introduce you to some of the shit this jackwagon, what's his nuts, Billy Madison had to put up. So the other day he sent, okay, and this was because of word magic too. I said to this guy, I said, now think about this. He put up my address, photographs of my house, tried to put up my phone number. He had the wrong one. I tried to get him to call me just so he'd end up calling somebody else, you know, that going, what? Who the hell is this? Anyway, he sent this letter or an email. I guess he must be in the UK where he thinks people will get locked up for saying shit or something. I don't know. But in any case, what I had said to him, he'd shown all this stuff, and I said, hey, I said, why, are you coming over? I said, you should. I said, don't worry. I've never killed anyone that didn't deserve it. I said, nobody has ever found a body that I've buried. Now, did I actually say that I've killed anybody or that I've buried any bodies? No. Because if I were pressed on the matter, you know, have you killed anyone? Well, of course not. Even people that didn't deserve it. I didn't, you know, that's, you let your own assumptions. And of course, nobody's found a body that I've buried because I've never buried any bodies. I let his own assumptions get him. So he sent this. This is funny as shit. He sent this, and his name is Billy Madison. So I'm going to put the link in here again for that channel real quick. And you guys, for that page, and you guys can go over there and you know, interact with him. He's fun. But he's really scared too, because I told him that I was going to talk about him tonight on my show, and that I was going to try to see if my audience wanted to go over and have a conversation with him in this group. So, you know, feel free, go over there and join it. It's a pretty spirited group. There's some good people in it, but it's the same old trolls, and you'll pick them out. I've been having fun with them. This thing here, it says, I don't know if you can't read that, so I'm going to have to download it, and then I'll bring it up this way. Let me do it this way. Shit, that's not the picture I just did, is it? Oh, yeah. Okay, wait. Here we go. Wow. Let me grab this over here. Make it big. Zoom it in. Let me get the right one. So yeah, this is to Ralph Dean. We call him his name. Everybody knows him as Beaver. He's shit out of. He was just he wasn't. I don't even think he was a cop yet when I first came down here. But anyway, he's chief of police over here in the town where I live at. And he put this out. He says, "Dear Chief Dean, there's a resident of yours that's going on Facebook harassing and threatening users. All I did was not believe in your story. You started doxing me. What the fuck are you talking about? His name is David Kane, and I believe he lives at 918 Judy Lane. He is a conspiracy theorist that believes the earth is flat and is willing to do anything to keep his delusions going. Enclosed is a screenshot with his email. I wish to remain anonymous." Now that's a real puss, you see. And I said, "See, don't worry. I've never killed anyone that didn't deserve it." "Yeah, and you just proved that flirts are mentally ill and will kill in the name of the earth just so." I'm like, this guy, wow, holy sheep shit, right? So this is what we're dealing with, y'all. This is what you're dealing with. Let me grab these here real quick. Let's see, that's the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one. Yeah, okay. So let me get that one. I sent these to my son because I thought he'd get a kick out of them. Let's see, that one, that one, that one, that one. Yeah, I better get it again. I can't. Oh, man, shouldn't have smoked that bomb. Shit. Okay, yeah, good. Now, let's see. The way I got to do this is I need to go back. Close that. And bear with me, folks. Takes me just a second. I should have had this done, but I didn't even think about y'all not being able to see it. So here I am. Okay. So let's see. Is this the first one? Okay. Yeah. Here we go. So this is after he's done doxing me. He said, "A stupid person goes on Facebook and harasses people because he's a whack job and doesn't get the idea that there's consequences to their reactions, which lead to the MFer getting their home address looked up." And then he says, "Oh, and let me make this plain as fucking day, Dave. If something were to happen to you and someone on Facebook recognized you on the street, let's just hope you don't get the worst end of the stick, as they say, because your mouth is going to get you fucked up or worse." And I'm like, what in the fuck is this guy talking about, right? All right, so we go. Yeah, and then I said, "I've never harassed you or anyone else. You have been the one harassing." Hey, Chicago Cubby Bear.
Hey, how's it going?
"You have been the one harassing. You are angry because I don't buy into your ding-dong religion. You are a mental case. My address is public knowledge, you stooge. You're saying that you're so unhinged over it that you would encourage violence over it. Wow, get help." You know, and this is what I'm getting from this guy. He's really, and he's still going right now. I bet you I look up here on Facebook. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of it, a whole bunch of him. And so I encourage you to go over to that Facebook group, join up, and look for Billy Madison and our good friend that was on here about a year or so ago, Martin Gouliet, who is really an unhinged freakazoid. When I try to pin him down to demonstrable actual physics and out of the realm of Narnia and pseudoscience, he just loses his fucking mind. Because he goes, "Well, physics show and predict and all this other." And I'm like, not testable, not repeatable, not science, made up story based on what you looked up in the sky and saw. You're trying to place things in the physical realm that you have no idea of their physics whatsoever. You don't even know what the hell they are. Looking up at the sky to determine the condition of where you stand is as retarded as looking up into the sky to drive to the store. You're not going to be very successful. Right? So what's going on, Mr. Chicago Cubby Bear?
Oh, it's Chad, by the way. I thought I put my real name down there.
Oh, I did. I see it there now. Yeah, look, I got the spectacle. You got to put them down on the end. Ah, yeah, I see it now. There we go.
I didn't want to be hiding behind a name my whole life.
Right. Well, you know, that's the thing that I was getting at is it's like, you know, if you're going to go talking shit, you know, don't hide.
Yeah.
Don't hide. You know, don't put up an act. You know, that's the whole thing. And I think it's really, really sad that you would have to make any kind of views by creating toxicity, Jerry Springer type of bullshit just for content. Don't you have anything to actually talk about? Don't you have anything of value to impart, or is it just ripping on other fucking people?
Just looking for the views and the clicks, man.
Yeah.
So I don't got no time for any of that shit. No trolls or nothing. I got a million other things to do rather than waste my time on any of that business.
Yep. No sense.
It's all background noise.
Yep. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, the only way I knew about it was
they ain't paying any of my bills, so
somebody messaged me and said, "Oh, they're talking about you and your son on this channel," and I clicked on it and I looked, and first thing I saw was, you know, the fucking Tibetan cave dweller and some ferret-faced fuck with a hat.
Yeah.
And I went, "Oh yeah, those guys. Who gives a fuck what they got to say?" No, I didn't even let it play. I just hit the pause so I didn't have to hear Z's irritating fucking voice.
Yeah.
And I was just watching through the chat, and I was like just seeing what people were saying, and it don't sound like everybody's on board, you know. But
yeah, and if you're gonna sit and claim that you're the king of flat Earth and that you know everything, you've known this whole how this is gonna play out since the beginning. It's like, you know what? You go ahead and stay with those claims, and you know, after a while, you know, sitting there at the top being the king, you know, it gets lonely. So there'll be somebody that's going to do the same thing to them eventually. It's just a big drama circle, basically.
Yeah. And they'll always want to talk about something other. They always want to do character assassination type shit, not really go to the meat of what you're talking about, you know? Yeah. And that tells me that, well, whatever I'm doing it right. I'm over the target. You know, if I'm attracting that, then fuck them, you know, go ahead, do what you got to do. It doesn't dissuade me at all. I'm the last person that's going to be bullied into fucking doing something. And I'm like that to a fault. I will not be bullied. It doesn't affect me. You know, and especially when I consider the source. You know, I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm supposed to really give a fuck what you got to say?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I'll say, I you know, I've watched a lot of Asch, and you know, when he's doing when he's just putting out content and not bashing on other people, you know, that guy does do good research. But when he gets on all the other stuff, like you want to hang on Z's coattail, like that's not the only place to be. But I don't know, man. Like,
well, there's a lot of people that are attracted to the mess. Right. They're attracted to the toxicity. This is why Jerry Springer had such fucking phenomenal ratings and views. You know what I'm saying? There was all these people that are like that. They like to see other people being kicked.
Oh yeah.
Because they're sick. They don't like to have to look at the fact that they're being kicked all the fucking time. Yeah. Makes them feel better about their lowly perspective of themselves in life.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to what happened, you know, whatever their upbringing was. You know, they probably had a rough upbringing, got made fun of a lot or something. And now they feel like they're getting a little bit of attention. And it's like, look at me. But
yeah,
you know,
well, they get caught up. I call it the Ziggy Stardust syndrome.
Yeah.
If you know the song Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, what happened? He got sucked up into his ego.
Mm-hmm.
Ruined the fucking.
And that's what's happening to a lot of them.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. Like I said, I enjoy when Notch did when he was doing, like stuff on Duffy and stuff on John Benet Ramsey or whatever else, some of the other stuff. His content was pretty good. But when he gets into like bashing people, that's like, why you even go down that rabbit hole or that trail, dude?
And it actually kind of diminishes your credibility. Kind of like when Geraldo Rivera first came on the scene, he had a lot of credit. He had a lot of cred because he was this young hip reporter that was actually on the front lines of Middle East violence and shit, wearing a fucking battle jacket and stuff. And I mean, under fire.
Yeah, until he went to open the vault.
Okay. And then you go up years later, and then what do you have? You have him with these staged fights on a stage between neo-Nazis and a Jew, and his Capone's vault and all this other shit. He got sucked up into his own fucking ego, is what happened, and he lost all his credibility. He could have just stayed on his path, where he was at, and maintained that respect. But everybody lost fucking respect for the guy.
Sure.
It's crazy. Oh, did y'all hear the Starlink or the Starship fucking Elon Musk thing blew up again?
No.
Yeah. I think I got some video of it here. Let me show you real quick. This is messed up. This is actually posted by Elon Musk, and he just posted this like 4 hours ago. Look, that's so real.
Flare coming back to the once again, we are standing by for attempting to catch the booster at the tower. This would be the second tower catch.
Booster landing burn. Seeing 13 engines.
Booster now hovering as it aligns with the tower for catch.
Oh no, this ain't from today.
Booster coming in. Get ready for that boom.
Down to 3 engines.
Booster ready for trip out. Make it go ahead. Call the booster.
Now, if you want to see if that was fucking real or not, all you have to do is where you see those flames go angle a little bit, just draw a straight line through them, and then tell me that is going to do what they're having it do.
Yeah.
No fucking way. That thing is going to be top heavy.
That, and it's like one of those other ones that are similar to that same video where people were like in the background, like watching it, and they're taking video with their phone, and it ain't even on there.
Yeah.
Like, what were you recording, by the way? Just the sky?
All right. Oh, yeah. Here's the one from today. Success is uncertain, but entertainment is guaranteed. This was his post.
Didn't that
stupid one that blew up today 3 hours ago. So he put that up 4 hours ago, anticipating the thing going to land. Is that the fake footage they were going to use? Perhaps. But here's what actually happened.
Hurry, get a picture. Hurry. Ready?
Good, it's about to fall on top of us.
Oh my gosh! What is this? Are we gonna fucking die? Look,
It's a comet.
right there.
Nope, that was the rocket exploding.
Shane, what is that?
That's crazy. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Oh my god, I gotta FaceTime. Oh my god.
That is 100% something burn up the atmosphere.
That's wild,
Space
man.
junk or something. That's the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I got
awesome, man.
Look at the sky now. Guys, take pictures of that. Look at this.
Better be careful, you're going to start a wildfire.
I don't know. Is Florida real dry right now?
Oh, I didn't know where it was. Yeah.
That's one video of it.
Didn't that Blue Origin go up or something too? That's the other hoax. But anyway, that Blue Origin that Bezos owns, I think they had a launch or something today, I want to say.
Ain't it wild that you got all these billionaires that are in a space race against each other?
Yeah, you think it wouldn't be very environmentally friendly either.
And they push that kind of thing too. If you look like Tony Stark and the popularity of the Iron Man movies,
Iron Man,
and In fact, I think in one of them, Tony Stark Elon Musk has a cameo appearance in it where he's actually in like a cocktail party or something, and he congratulates him on these engines or some shit like that.
Yeah, I want to say he's like a server or something at the party. I can't remember though. It's been a while since I've seen it.
This is from another angle of that same thing.
So it's like fireworks.
It does. It's probably all it was, really. Listen, this is the thing, and this is another thing. These trolls lose their fucking minds when you tell them, look, you're never getting out of here. Not alive. Okay?
No.
And I believe that a lot of these demon-possessed people get so wretchy when you tell them that, merely because the demons aren't getting out. And they're not going to incarnate. This is why they want to try to make robots and shit, you know? They can't incarnate. There's no place for them here on earth or in heaven. They're not getting out. Okay? And that really freaks them out. I got another guy on Facebook, he's freaking out about the firmament. And he says, well, where's the curve of the firmament? And I says, well, look up. And he goes, well, I don't see anything. I said, do you see the sky, right? He says, yeah. I said, there you go. That's it.
That's all it takes.
And he's like, well, what about space? I said, what space? What are you talking about? You know, I just hold it to what it is, man. This Narnia land shit that they try to float by you is just too much. It's just too much, and I'm not buying no more of it, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and once you've dissected their whole little tool, their whole little game, how they work all the their little strategies, you know, like their constant need for a reversal, fellas. Yeah. Constantly. It's because they don't have any empirical evidence of a globe. None.
They've always been shamed. You know, you said it before, like the kid in the dunce cap in the corner. You know, you get shamed your whole life, and some people they can't take that. You know, so they bend and they break, or they just go along to get along. So.
Mm-hmm. I believe that's true. I mean, well. Yeah, there again, that's the tendency of a lot of people. The Asch experiment proves that.
Yeah, right.
You know? And any of you out there that don't really know what the Asch experiment is, let me see if I can find a video on it.
They don't want to be the odd man out, basically. I mean,
no.
Everybody else is thinking one way.
Right.
You know, you don't want to stray off the path. You don't want to be the guy not getting invited to the party either. I mean, that's some people's way of thinking anyway.
Of course, it's got to be spelled some way different than what
I think it's ASCHE.
It's ASCH, yeah. Let's see, which one's longest? I think it's this one.
They did that. They did some similar experiments on that show Brain Games. You remember that show?
Yeah. Where they had that woman stand up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the office.
Right. So this is a test on conformity. It's called the Asch experiment. And yeah, I'm glad you touched on that, because let me remove that.
I think that's just the way a lot of people are, you know, like they don't want to be the odd man out, basically.
Yeah, that's it. And they don't, and another thing too that plays into it is not being intellectually lazy.
Yeah.
You know, it's so easy to go, they confuse you and bamboozle you with all this fucking nonsense. Your perception deception kicks in and go, oh, they're much smarter people than me. Right? And it begins. Well, I don't have to really think about that. Somebody else went and figured it out. And I'm like, wait. What do you mean somebody else went and figured it out? Make it make sense. Let's go ahead and make this make sense. And you find that it doesn't. It just doesn't. So anyway, this is the Asch experiment. This is really a good one.
But an experiment is not a public opinion poll. It examines behavior under the pressure of social forces, as the experiment of Solomon Asch reveals.
The experiment you'll be taking part in today involves the perception of lengths of lines. As you can see here, I have a number of cards, and on each card there are several lines. Your task is a very simple one. You're to look at the line on the left and determine which of the three lines on the right is equal to it in length. All right, we'll proceed in this order. You'll give your answer.
Only one of the people in the group is a real subject, the fifth person with the white t-shirt. The others are confederates of the experimenter and have been told to give wrong answers on some of the trials. The experiment begins uneventfully as subjects give their judgments.
2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3.
But on the third trial, something happens.
2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
The subject denies the evidence of his own eyes and yields to group influence. Asch found subjects went along with the group on 37% of the critical trials. But he found through interviews that they went along with the group for different reasons.
1.
They must be right. There are 4 of them and 1 of me.
1.
This subject's yielding is based on a distortion of his judgment. He genuinely believes that the group is correct.
1.
1.
1.
2.
1. 2.
2. 2.
I know they're wrong, but why should I make waves?
2.
In this case, the subject knows he is right, but goes along to avoid the discomfort of disagreeing with the group. Here, the distortion is at the level of his response.
2.
2.
2.
2.
In the previous experiment, the naive subject stood alone against the group. In this variation, Asch gave the naive subject a partner, here seated in the third position, who also gives the correct response.
1. 1. 2. 1.
2.
With a partner, yielding drops to only 5% of the critical trials compared to 37% without a partner. Although subjects report
Did you see them nod at each other like in kind of in solidarity?
Yeah, in agreement. Yeah.
warmth and good feeling toward the partner, they typically deny that he played a role in their own independence. The partnership variation shows that much of the power of the group came not merely from its numbers, but from the unanimity of its opposition. When that unanimity is punctured, the group's power is greatly reduced. Sometimes we go along with a group because what they say convinces us they are right. This is called informational conformity. But sometimes we conform because we are apprehensive that the group will disapprove if we are deviant. This is called normative conformity. The strength of the normative factor is shown in another variation carried out by Asch. In this variation, the subject is told that because he had arrived late, he would have to write his answers. Subjects in this private response experiment are exposed to the same amount of misleading information as other subjects, but they are immune from any possible criticism by the group.
One.
And this enormously reduces the pressure to conform. Conformity drops by 2/3. Asch's experiment is a classic. It reveals how people will deny what they see and submit to group pressure. It allows us not only to observe conformity, but to study the conditions that increase or reduce its occurrence.
Now that is how they ran the globe on you. Children are really susceptible to that, to be like the group. They're learning how to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going to mimic things around their surroundings, their parents primarily, because they're around them. Well, not anymore, but they're primarily around the parents. They're going to develop a manner of speech much like their parents, but they're also going to incorporate these things that they learned from the social group. and they want to be part of that, because one of the things that they don't like, that nobody likes, is to be excluded. So what they would do is take the kid who gave his interpretation of the answer that didn't conform with the rest of the group and make fun of them and ridicule them, even go as far as to put them up to the front of the class and make them wear a silly hat or something. And this is how they ran this shit by you. And that with a punishment and reward type system. If you regurgitate the bullshit that I tell you the same way back on a piece of paper to me, then that means you're past and you are smart. But if you do not, if you have a differing view, you will be punished for it and perhaps have to repeat this part of your prison sentence over again.
And that's why they start so young too, because they know they ain't gonna get no pushback from anybody that's, you know.
Right. Right.
Well, under age 7 is under the age that's below the age of reason. So their brain isn't even developed enough to reason at all.
Yeah, they're just
in that sense. They just are obedient. It's like conform for the reward. So yes, what Saab said is true. They get rewarded for conformity, and if they stand out, they're punished for it, whether it's the dunce cap, excluded. That's exactly how it works. As a child, I said to some classmates outdoors, this is a prison for children. That's what this place is. And a couple older kids agreed that were in 8th grade. They said, yeah, it is. Like, it looks like one. The bells, the teachers are guards. We have to ask permission. Hey, may I please go use the restroom? May I please go to the toilet? Like, I mean, who else do you have to ask permission in your life to use a bodily function? They have you controlled right down to that level. Some kids peed their pants in their desk, in their seat in class. And the teacher said, no, you can't. Wait. You got to wait till the bell. They said, no, you're not allowed. I mean, having control over somebody's body.
On the flip side, you know, if you say what they want you to say and everybody starts clapping, it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter if you said the right thing or not, but that rewarding feeling, you know.
Well, and you've also got the implementation of giving a select few students, the biggest conformists, of course, the role of hall monitor, which is basically a policing. It's a police type thing, right?
Preparing them for a police state.
Right.
Sorry, but it's preparation.
And the kid, as a reward for my diligence to this bullshit, I've been given a moniker of authority. And therefore, I am actually above these other kids, because I'm the one that makes sure that they're following along the rules. See, this is the sick shit they did. They did this in concentration camps too. They actually hired inmates as a form of police within the camp or within
those would be the best ones to police. Those are the best ones. They have it happening out in the public, people policing their neighbors. Like, oh, I'm going to rat on you if you go out during the 2020, you know what, downs, you're supposed to stay at home. I'm going to fucking call not me, but they would be saying this. Oh, I'm going to call the authorities on my neighbor. I saw them leave when they're not supposed to be out taking a walking their dog or whatever the case may be. Yeah. Look at they're disobeying.
They weren't wearing a shame muzzle, you know? So,
yeah.
I'm going to call men with guns to come and rectify this crazy perception that I was given by a magic box on my wall. Holy fuck, man. If God were to ask my advice, I'd say just torch it. I wouldn't even fucking hesitate, man. I'd say just torch it, fucking thing.
Like torch it like California, except
just do away with it, man. Sodom and Gomorrah, fucking bullshit. I'm like,
oh, you know, they were talking about you. I just came from watching Z show. Z and I didn't know if you heard it, but yeah, they were talking about you. Nacho Quifa, I call him Nachos Quifa. And Z, I think Rachel took Z's balls. One of my audience said that the Rachel over there, that's a transformer, has Z's balls. She has Z's balls. Z doesn't have balls.
I have no idea what they said.
He put me backstage. Z. He doesn't have
worth the time.
I mean,
Yeah.
I have no idea what they said about me or anything else like that.
Yeah.
I just know it was well, I think it was kind of it was a click and view type thing, you know. Do I really care? No, I
I'm
can.
just saying, like, I didn't know if you knew, but I don't like when they talk behind someone's back. So them dropping your name, saying Sov Dave is done and all this stuff. They talk big. Yeah, they said you're done. They're talking big behind your back. Why don't they do it face to face or on a show? Like, I don't support when any channel does that. And if they have something to say to me, they can come on my show, live, Z or
Right.
Nachaquifa, and say it to me rather than be about me behind my back.
If he was
So,
done or whatever, then why even bother bring his name up? Like,
Well, if I
they
was
name
done, why
they're name
is
dropping.
every day my subscriber count is bigger every day. Z doesn't even have as many subscribers as I do. He
Yeah.
doesn't get as many views as I do. Not that there's anything to that, but how are you going to claim that I'm done and you're the king of flat earth or whatever? Who presided over this fucking ceremony? That's what I'd like to know.
I think those two might be living together now. They might be the leaders of the incels. I don't know if they're leaders of flat earth. I think Z and Nachaquifa they might be in a relationship of sorts, but I think they were named. I'm just, I'm being silly a little bit, but they are kind of feminine. I think they dropped your name trying to sound tough. That's what I think. They're just trying to, that's all.
You know, if they were actually tough, they'd go ahead and come on over here and click the link.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
You know,
they don't have balls.
Yeah, it's not like I'm I don't go watch their content. I really don't. Last I knew, I think that Mr. Moto there, he was living in a fucking cave or a hut in Tibet or some bullshit. I don't know. And this Z character, it's like, dude, back up from the fucking camera, Joe. Jesus.
Yeah.
I
His
mean,
face fills the screen. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I noticed that too.
It's like, back the fuck up. Did you if you ever get a chance, I did a video about him because oh shit, I don't know how long ago it was, but he went off the fucking rails and did a live where he was trying to get people to self-delete themselves and
What?
calling for
No,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Shit.
and here's why I say that I think they're agents anyway, because that video
I agree.
that video's still up on his channel.
What's the name of it? Do you know how long ago it was? I'd love to cover it on my channel.
I did a video.
I think Renee's dropped the link on the last stream, but I don't remember.
Yeah, she might. Again, here, let me see. Over on my channel, it's a video. Let me just take a look here real quick at my content.
I mean, that's a little bit of his thing anyway. He's fallacious about some of the shit he says just to get clicks and likes and stuff. But either way, I mean, that ain't no way to try and grow your channel.
I have to wonder, why are you yeah, let's see. That was shit. March 24th, 2023 is when I did the video on it. So it was close to that time. Let me see. Did I put a link in there? Yeah, I did. Okay, so let me see if it works. I'm going to copy it and let me put it up here and see if it takes me to it. Paste. Yep, there it is. Okay. So this is the link to the original. And I have a video on my channel under videos. It's not under live. And it's called Zetetic Meltdown. And I specifically highlight a lot of the bullshit that he was talking, telling people to self-delete. He was telling people that if you live in an area where people celebrate Christmas and there's snow, just go out and end your neighbors and shit like that, man. And there was other times he was all bent at me. He came on my live one night and he was about half in the tank and he was a fucking asshole. He was just a complete asshole to the people on the panel. I had people on there that don't necessarily believe that the earth is flat, but they're not flat earth haters type people. And he like ran these fucking people off and then came back again and acted like an asshole again. And I was prior to that, he'd been like all over the place saying, oh, Saab is really good. He's a great thing for the flat earth community and blah, 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 and all this other shit, like almost like love bombing me. Right. And as soon as I agreed with somebody that he had acted like an asshole, that was it. He was hanging out over there at Paul Unbathed channel, and he was really a whole bunch of toxic fucking incels, and he started sending trolls over to my channel and everything, and
oh wow,
he sent a mentally developed minor over to my channel to come over. Shit. I mean, it was amazing, right? And the fact that video where he went and told people that the date of it was March 22nd of 2023, and that video is still up. Now, damn well if I did anything close to that, they'd shut my channel down right away. I mean, I gotta watch my ass what I say. How come Zetetic Ferret Face didn't have to do that? How come he didn't catch any hell for it? It got reported, not by me, but by many others. Nothing happened, right?
Yeah.
And then we got the strange case of Nacho Cheese up there with his with Dave Weiss, totally acting like a fucking handler. So I don't trust either one of those fucking guys, and that Nacho Cheese guy jumping onto this ridiculous fucking rising earth bullshit. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man.
Well, I'll tell you, Sav, I agree with you. I think they are agents. They kicked me off the show. They said I was what did they call it? Scatter fire. I asked a couple questions about the rising vector Earth. And I said, what would propel it? Where would the energy come from? What would propel it? What would propel the Earth, the whole Earth? Why don't we feel it? Why do we feel and detect no motion? They answered none of my questions. They put me backstage and said, all you did was scatter fire. Asked like 3 questions. They could have gone over the questions one by one, but they kicked me off. They don't want to answer questions. It doesn't make sense. Where's the proof that we're in motion upwards? I don't buy it. I don't buy their whole. I think they're agents. I agree with you. And yeah, I'd lose my channel if I did the shit that they get away with. I lost 3 channels already.
Straight up, I think there's like a fucking network, a club, and
yeah.
I'm putting it all together right now, and it's like, okay, I see what's happening here. I see what's going on, and it's very evident in what I'm seeing playing out in the whole realm of things. I'm at the school. It's like just like with NASA. If you have to fake any of the fucking bullshit, then it wasn't real.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. You went down there. You had one fucking job. It would have been so. You weren't professional about it at all. You didn't write anything down. You didn't really record anything. No declination angles. Nothing. You had one job. Then you just came on and said, oh, I saw a 24-hour sun. Oh, I'll upload videos in about a month. Oh my God. Come on, y'all, man. Come on. And it was so obvious, painfully obvious, that they were relying on this perception deception of people's misinterpretation of familiarity with a personality that they know only through a fucking tube on their wall, or in their den or whatever, or on their phone. You don't fucking know anybody, these people. I don't care how much super chats you've sent them. I don't give a fuck how many shirts you bought off the motherfuckers. It doesn't matter. You don't know them. I mean, how many young boys probably got a fucking Beyonce poster on their walls? Teenage boys with Beyonce posters on their walls and shit. And then you find out that it's a goddamn man.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
See, that's the kind of bullshit right there, and they probably had all kinds of fantasies about that, you know how it is when you're 16 and shit. And they're like, that's got to be mind crushing. But that's the whole thing. That's that perception deception. People get a hold of an actor, you know, that they really like, and they'll be like, oh yeah, and he believes this, and he believes. You don't know anything about what he fucking believes. You got to understand, when he's not in a movie, he's still acting.
Yeah. That's like
somebody in the chat said Megan Fox and Meg Fox admitted on video, said, I'm a man in one interview. I mean, some of them come right out and call themselves that. But yeah, I see what you're saying, Sav. And also, I notice a pattern with, you said they're all a club, and I agree. There's a pattern of them now trying to push people to self-delete. There's a pattern of them I've noticed in the last couple of years. There's a bunch of them pushing for that. Here's another weirdo here, shill, flow state. I don't trust this fucking guy. I don't trust this guy.
What's wrong, Steven?
Nothing's wrong. I just don't trust you.
It's all right. You're not extending any trust right here.
You're coming in really hot, but you're doing everything for money. You got the masonry red bricks behind you. You're a grifter. You do it all for money. So yeah, I don't trust you. Why would I trust you? You push the trans agenda. You push the LGBT.
Steven.
You're for every fucking agenda there is, dude. Yeah, you do on your show.
I think
absolutely.
I think that you would make a beautiful woman if you transed up, Steven.
No, I think that you push all kinds
Queen
of agendas.
Stephanie.
And all you can do is deflect, because you know you're called out. You got the red
Which
bricks
agendas do I push? How do I push the trans agenda?
And you interrupt as well. This is part of your game. It's what you do on your show. You got the red bricks of Freemasonry behind you. You push the trans agenda. You have trans people on your show all the time, as though that's normal. You push New World Order agendas. You put your hand over your eye and hold it. You do all kinds of shit, dude. You do everything that's possible to show that you're a fucking shill. You're an agent. You do it for the money. So absolutely, you're from the prison to YouTube pipeline. You're a felon. You're a drug dealer. You've got it all. Every sign of an agent is written all over you, and all you can do is come back with slander and ad hominems. You have nothing. You're exposed.
We good now? You get it
Come
out
back
of your
with
system?
another ad hom. That's all you have.
There's no ad hom here. I'm just trying to soothe you.
That's all you have.
Are you?
Why the red bricks behind you? Why the masonry?
Well, to enslave you in the New World Order, of course.
What do you do for a living, Flow State? Taylor, what do you do for a living?
I'm a professional shill, mason, and
professional agent on YouTube.
Finger puppet maker.
Professional agent on YouTube. Who buys your cigarettes for you? You can't even. Someone else has to buy them for you.
No, I buy my own cigarettes.
No, you don't.
Well, I'm glad you guys have brought up the Illuminati, because
get a room.
This is how it actually goes down, y'all. This is how it goes down. I want you to pay close attention. So
is that Kids in the Hall?
Yeah, Kids in the Hall. I used to love that show, man. I was living in when that was on TV. I was living in Royal Oak, Michigan. And man, me and my girlfriend would sit and watch that shit like every time it was on, just laughing our asses off. You know, I was kind of bummed when they canceled it. You know, I was like, God damn it, that was one of the good ones. You know, but yeah, did you ever watch it, Flo?
It looks familiar, but not much.
Do you think maybe a meeting like that took place around the final experiment, or similar?
You know what? I've done my damnedest to stay away from that whole shit show. You could smell the shit show on it way before it even happened.
It's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they're arguing about shit that, look, first off, you don't even know what any of that fucking shit up there is. You look up in the sky. That's the first thing these idiot globetards always want to do. The Earth is a globe. It is, huh? Yeah, look up at the sky. What the fuck do you mean look up at the sky? What? I thought you were talking about the Earth. I said, well, you can see these planets and these stars. And I'm like, okay, well, what are they?
Well, they're circles.
Well, are they?
I just heard the argument.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I can show you a train coming at you from like a half a mile away at night, and it looks like one big light, round light. But then when it comes up close to you, you look, and it's just a series of rectangular lights in different spots on the train.
So, Sav, Are you I get what you're saying with the train. That's a good analogy. But are you saying the train tracks are on a giant Home Depot like Jeranism says? This is a big flat Home Depot.
Yeah.
We're on Home Depot world. Home Depot.
Well, if the only way I would like use a Home Depot analogy would be like, imagine a huge warehouse, 10 times the size of Home Depot, same height of the ceiling, right? And you're standing over near the middle of the store, right? And you say this thing is like 5 miles, 5 miles by 5 miles. The ceiling is right up there. It's high. You can't reach it. You know, you can't even get up on a chair and reach it. It's up there a good ways. But this thing is 5 miles by 5 miles. And you stand in the center and you see the lights there. Well, you go over to the edge of the damn warehouse. You're no longer going to see those lights in the center anymore. You're going to see new lights that you didn't see from when you were in the center.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does that make it be a ball now?
No.
No.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
The lights in the ceiling have nothing to do with the floor that you're standing on, man. That's all there is to it. You don't even know what the lights are.
Yeah.
You're going to try to make up. See, there's power if you can say you know something that everybody else doesn't. Okay. And if you can get people to believe it based on their perception of your perceived status, then that works even better. So when some asshat comes out with a lab coat and letters behind his name and says, those lights you see in the sky are giant balls of gas that are burning under nuclear fusion, and they're trillions and trillions of miles away. You go, oh, wow. And here comes the intellectual laziness. Instead of going, how the fuck do you know that? People go, wow, that's really impressive. Could you imagine? And then they focus on the distance and everything that they've been given and everything. And it's like, wait, hold the phone. How do you know that that's how far those fucking lights are?
I get claustrophobic in Home Depot. It's like stuffing 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. They got so much shit in that place.
So what they're trying to do is they're trying to place shit into the realm of science that they don't even have any fucking idea what it is. Basically, what they've done is they've looked up at the sky, they've seen things, and they made up a goddamn story. That's what it is.
Well,
astronomy is not science. Okay, it literally means naming stars. Okay, that it literally means naming stars. There's no science involved. Nothing is tested. Nothing is modulated. No causality is ever determined. It's only assumed, theoretical nonsense, and they float it by you as though it's fact by saying scientific in front of it. There's nothing scientific about it at all.
Yeah. What you said with the Home Depot example was a good one about the lights, though. That makes sense. But instead of 5 miles, let's say that the Home Depot is over 500 miles long.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's say it's 500 miles and it's perfectly flat, the floor. We could take that Home Depot and put it right over the state of Kansas, which is flat. Kansas is 410 miles or so length. So the 500 would cover Kansas. Kansas is flatter than a pancake. They measured it, mainstream science. That's their admission that it's flatter than a pancake. So is anybody here going to tell me that it's a globe, but Kansas is a huge flat spot on a round globe? How does that work with a great big flat spot? And there's bigger flat spots than even that. There's lots of them that are perfectly flat. And I mean, no topology really. It's just hardly any hills, just flatter than a pancake. Measurable. They said they measured it, mainstream science. You can look it up on Google or whatever search engine. Says it's flatter than a pancake. So Home Depot would fit, let's say it's 500 miles. It would cover the whole state of Kansas, right? But if you took it somewhere like Jaron's example, where he's saying it's flat, it's a Home Depot on a globe, you'd never be able to build a 500-mile long flat floor on a globe. You wouldn't be able to do it flat because there'd be curvature under the flat floor. Like, how the fuck do you deal with that? See, his whole Home Depot shit doesn't even make sense on that level, because the bigger you get, the more impossible it gets if this was a globe to build something flat with a level floor.
Well,
doesn't work, right?
Well, no, of course not. Look, if there's curvature at any distance, there's curvature at a small distance. It may be imperceptible, but it would still have to be there.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So we're given this 8 miles per, or 8 inches per mile squared. And it's actually like, I think it works out to be 7.9, but whatever. Here's what'll prove convexity of the Earth. Physical measurement of convexity consistent with the radius value given 360 degrees around a single point. If this can be done in 6 locations and come up with adequate curvature or convexity, then we can consider the Earth being a globe. But all we ever get are long distance observations taken from the ground where your field of view is obstructed by the horizon, along with misinterpretations of what they're looking at. A gross misunderstanding of how vision works. And then on top of it, try to apply two-dimensional, third-person perspective Euclidean geometry to demonstrate a perspective view? Are you kidding me? You can't use that. You can't use 2D orthographic Euclidean geometry to demonstrate a first-person view because it's third person. So,
well, when they engineer bridges and things like that, they don't factor in curvature. There's a bridge in China that's over 100 miles long, and it's over water, so it's over flat, and that's how they do engineering. They don't say, well, we got to factor in the curvature and it's going to curve this many feet. They don't do that. So that in itself is proving that the bodies of water finds its level, it's flat, and they engineer that way. They don't engineer for curvature.
Remodeling on this place this last week, this last couple of weeks actually, and we've been doing some remodeling work in there. And you know what the 2 primary tools I've been using in there were?
Tape measure and a hammer.
A level and a plumb.
A level and a square. A level and
a square.
More than a tape measure.
Huh?
More than a tape measure.
No, well, no, you're using that in conjunction, but I mean, you have to, once you've got your distance and you've got everything in, before you assemble it together, before you fix it in place, those 2 things are tantamount. You have to use those. You have to be sure that everything that you're securing is, you know, you're going to use that to measure up the pieces and everything like that. But before you're going to fix it into place, whether it be a wall or a piece of trim or any other thing like that, you have to use a square or a level. In the case of,
and how does the level work?
You got to put the square in there, make sure that you're not out of square, or else you're going to run into problems down the road. You know, and you also want to make sure that everything is level. And level, there's a bit of word magic that's used on the online definition that they've changed for level. And this word magic, much like when I told that character, I said, I've never killed anyone that didn't deserve it. And he assumed that meant that that means that I have killed people. It doesn't. I just said I've never killed anyone that didn't deserve it. I've never killed anybody at all. But because I'm specific that way, the assumptions take place.
I plead the 5th.
You see? And then I backed it up even further by saying, you know, nobody has ever found a body that I've buried. Well, of course, I've never buried anybody. So what the fuck, right? But he assumed through the assumption process of what's going on there. So what they say is it says level. Then it says no point higher than another. All right. This would indicate a straight line. Then semicolon, and it says conforming with the curved portions of the liquid surface of Earth. That is word magic. It's true. Because since there are no curved surfaces of water on Earth, it does conform to that. Otherwise, that second part of the definition would completely contradict the first one. But you have to think about what it's actually saying. They're not telling you there's curvature to the water parts of Earth's surface. They're not telling you there's curvature. They're just saying it conforms with the curvature of the Earth's surface water. Didn't say there was any. And so by the very first part of the definition, that second part is technically true. But it's word magic. And so these idiots, these globetards, will use that assumption to say, well, they say right there that there's curve. No, they don't. Read it again. Read it again. They're actually telling you that it's flat. They're actually telling you that the Earth is flat by the volition of the very first part of the definition. You got to read deep into what they do. It's all about word magic, man. Crazy. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. So what do you know about the final experiment so far, though, Flo?
Well, I know that just the little bits I've gleaned from, being in the same spheres as Nachiketa and Z. I heard it didn't go whatever they were hoping, whatever the flat earthers were hoping or expecting not to see, they saw or something. A lot of uproar. Seems like the flat earth community is fractured and people are mad at Sharonism. Did I sum that up right?
That's kind of like, yeah, that would be probably like a short article about it, but I think it's deeper than that.
That's what I told her, but she disagreed.
No, I used to have a little drum snare. I should dig that back out again. No, there's more to it. Look, as soon as I saw, look, I look at everything, okay? Not just, I don't know, it's hard for me to really put it into, I look at the personalities. I look at the body language of people. I look at, constantly. I'm always kind of watching when people are talking. And it gives me more of an understanding of what's going on. I pay attention to micro expressions, that kind of thing like that. Most people really don't. And what I saw was, first off, with Duffy, was complete deception right off the bat. I mean, the motherfucker looks like a sleazy timeshare.
Which one is that?
That's the guy that paid for the whole thing, supposedly.
Okay, yeah. He is slimy.
He is. He's a slimy fuck, man. He's terrible. And I think that if there is anybody that's in his church, they should really think about what they're doing, because this guy, wow, did a sermon saying that lying isn't immoral, trying to justify that deceit and lying is okay based on the idea of saving someone. Well, that's a different story. If you're trying to deceive someone for your gain or to just gain power over their mind, well, that is a sin. Okay. But if they're like rounding up people to take them to a death camp or something, and they come to your door and say, do you know where any of these people are? And you've actually do know and have them in the basement, but if you give them up, they're going to get killed. That's acceptable. That's not a malicious thing. That's actually, that's a noble thing. And of course, that'll be looked at that way, I'm sure, that when you're judged. But when this guy's trying to make it like it's just, you can go ahead and lie about shit and it's okay.
He's everything that's wrong with organized religion.
Yeah. Well, yeah, any 501c3, they're going to have to toe that fucking evil bullshit. We know who's running the world. But then when I was watching, even there was so much sketchy shit going on, even with the experiment itself, with them, oh, I'm really tired, I'm going to go take a nap and all this other fucking bullshit. And I had to sleep under this table to get a couple winks of sleep and shit. And I let McKeegan use my phone and this other shit. And then I saw okay, so I looked into ALE too.
What's that?
Okay, that's the place that took him down there.
Okay.
That's the only company that goes there, and all this Union Glacier, and they are also it stands for Antarctic Logistics and Expeditions. Now, the logistics is their main bread and butter because they supply the logistics to all of the research camps and shit like that down there.
Based in Utah.
Right. So I'm looking into this, and they're showing, all the stuff that they offer, and they specifically tell you that, there's cell phone. There is no cell phone.
Really?
No internet. So
no service. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
They had to take a Starlink, and from what I understand, it had to be a maritime, which is not cheap at all down there with them. But then I see there's no cell phone, and I see Toon out there ranting at Nathan Oakley or was it Nathan Thompson? One of them. He was going, "Where's the guns, Nathan? Where's the guns?" His shadow is grossly distorting from short to long, indicating a local light source. And I'm like, what in the fuck is going on with this guy? How is he calling on a cell phone? Is he actually calling through Starlink to gloat at some guy and rant on his phone? It was like one of the most ridiculous spectacles you'll ever see.
Can we look at it?
13-year-old that's angry at her boyfriend and yelling at him on the phone in the middle of the mall, marching around, not caring who the fuck hears how ridiculous they are. Anyway, I started seeing all this fucking deceptive bullshit. And I'm like, wait a second. They specifically say at the ALE thing that if you want to make a phone call home, they have 2 phone booths that you can use. Yeah, wire.
That's where all our phone booths.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they got phone lines running out there.
Yeah, apparently. Well, they got an undersea cable, undersea communications cable that comes from Chile over right to that peninsula where they go in at. And I'm seeing like, okay, wait a second. You can either use the phone booth or you can buy minutes on a satellite phone.
I'd like to make a collect call.
Yeah, right. So I mean, this is right there on their thing, their little promotional video and everything, right? So I can only assume that call that he made was through Maritime Starlink unit that they supposedly had down there with them. Well, I'm also really suspicious about them having to leave early on the 17th. I can't find any evidence of them leaving on the 17th when the flights were all set up to go on the 18th. The 17th, supposedly there was a storm there, yet the Chilean Navy landed a P-3 Orion submarine catcher radar airplane for the first time on the Blue Ice runway, a prop-driven 4-engine plane, very loud. Nobody saw it. Nobody photographed it. Nobody videotaped it. You would have heard the damn thing. And the sky looks clear on the ALE Facebook page. Incidentally, none of the social media for ALE has mentioned anything in their posts about the final experiment. I find this odd. It's almost like they don't even want to really be associated to it. Because if you look at that picture where they took their shirts off and stood out there in front of that mountain and had their group photograph taken in like 20-degree weather. You know what I'm saying? 20-degree Fahrenheit. We've had that shit
That
around.
seems pretty warm.
Well, it's their summer.
For Antarctica.
It's their summer there. So it is kind of warm for Antarctica, I would imagine. That's why this place is only open from November through January.
It's barely been above 20 here in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Would you go stand outside with a shirt off and long enough
I probably would for a photo.
Exactly. You don't see it. Listen, you'd be like this. You'd be like this. You'd be holding, you'd be holding yourself.
I've done a lot stupider shit for thrills.
Jesus. But anyway, I'm looking at all this fucking bullshit and I'm going, wait a second, man. Something stinks here. Now, if they did go back on the 17th, or it really was just an earlier departure time on the 18th, then we have unaccounted time. So if you went back on the 17th, that means you landed in Punta Arenas on the 17th. And that means that you had an entire day or more before you had to catch your flight back to wherever the fuck you had to go. Now, what did you do during that time? You're in Chile. You're in a city called Punta Arenas. It seems to be a pretty good sized city. You didn't bother going around and checking out some of the shops and stuff and videotape and say, hey, we're in Punta Arenas. Check this out. This is what their grocery store looks like, or this is how they do, and this is like they have food vendors or whatever the case may be. I mean, you would do that especially if you're a YouTube personality.
Yeah.
And it'd be, where is that? What happened during that period of time? And they say, oh, they were tired. So you spent an entire almost 2 days just fucking locked up in your hotel room? So what was going on during that period of time? There's just too much bullshit, not to mention the slipshod way that Jaron and Whitsitt even conducted any of the views, any of the shit that was going on down there was just like, holy crap, man.
Hey, Soft.
Well, that's where you got to go behind the scenes and see Elizabeth's Globally fans. That's where all the back content is.
Right.
I shouldn't say that, but
Global fans.
What's going on, David?
Hey, Soft and gentlemen.
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Knowing they were going to be under scrutiny, under a magnifying glass, under a microscope, just a simple picture of the city that they were in before flying into Antarctica on their personal cell phone, just to evidence that this is what we're into today.
Well,
do they have any of that?
He had like supposedly body cam footage.
Okay.
Of them arriving in the place, and then some more of it walking around the camp.
Okay.
And shit like that. And then as to when they leave. And it even shows the data for the flight on the back of the seat. But there's no date. Not even on the flight data, just arrival times and departure time. And that's it. And destination, that kind of thing.
That's
and then
odd.
some commercials for some other bullshit, right? So we don't really know of that time other than their claim.
Their claim.
Okay, so perhaps even a receipt of some kind from the 17th in Chile. I mean, you had to fucking eat or something, didn't you? I mean, I'm just saying, there's something weird about that. And for the fact that Jaron got really pissed off at me over that point specifically, tells me that I was over the target with something about that missing fucking time.
Yeah.
Well,
now, what it is, I don't really fucking care at this point. I see it like this. It was filmed just like any other production. It's going, and when the whole thing comes out, it's going to consist of B-roll footage. It's filmed on site. It's going to consist of studio work, just like they do a movie. It's going to consist of all three elements put together to make a production. You don't think that when they show the transition scene between, this guy is going to go over and visit his girlfriend, and they show the highway and cars going by on it. They didn't just film that for that movie. That's stock footage. That's B-roll. And then they've got B-roll now with the guy actually in it because of the body camera footage. Well, that doesn't tell us anything. It would maybe perhaps tell us something if there was a date and time stamp on it, but there isn't. So I think that it's filmed on location, in a studio, and in some cases on a set.
Dave, you're clicking, I think.
No, yeah, that's David Truther. You're clicking again. Something's happening.
I think it was on a 3D set, 360-degree set. The vast majority. That's what I think. And I when you said about B-roll footage, it made me think of Flow State's channel. The B-roll, B-roll footage.
What is it then when you review my content? Is that C-roll?
C-roll? No, that'd be A+ roll. That'd be cream of the crop. And I review it because my analysis is kick-ass. Go ahead.
I'm sensing that there's a bit of controversy between
Stephen Angle. Let's go.
Well, I don't know why Steven's so in his feelings.
Well, Flow State likes to do live streams for hours talking about me sometimes, once in a while, every couple
The only
months.
time I ever talked about you on live stream is when you blocked me.
No, you've done whole live streams with my name in it, the Sanity Machine.
Yeah, when you blocked me.
Multiple. Blocked you.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do to get blocked? What were you talking about?
Nothing. I asked to come up. You got all suspicious, and you're like, "Why are you here?" And I was like, "Because I'm subscribed to you, and you were live." And you were like, "What do you?"
No, you were accusing me of cheating with your wife.
What do you want? And then you were, and then
I think you mentioned your wife. You said
you
something
wouldn't
about
let me
did
come
you
up,
sleep with
and
my wife.
And then you and your friends sat around and talked about how this world is too evil for you, and you guys are not well suited for surviving in this world. And I agreed with you.
Not at all. Not at all. You're warping things. That's not true. That's not
I mean,
true.
I did a whole live stream on it. We can review the footage.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. But I wanted to say that. Hold on a second. I wanted to say that I think YouTube is as controlled as television. I want to put that out there for the audience to ponder.
You already did like half an hour ago.
A lot of these channels that people say are truth channels or doing whatever, they're as controlled as TV shows, and I think Flow State's one of them. I think he's an agent. I'll put that right out there.
So what is your content? Just asking.
Me?
No,
You should review it for yourself. The Sanity Machine channel, the best truth channel on YouTube.
And you're the only one that holds the truth. Do you need like a VIP membership or anything?
Did I say the only one, or did
I'm
you
just asking.
hear that in your mind?
Who else holds the truth?
That's like feminists saying when somebody says women have done this, and they're not all women, not all women.
Can you?
No, I didn't say I'm the only one.
No one holds the truth.
That's what I'm saying.
The truth is self-evident, and the truth will always rise over deception. Sometimes it just takes a long time, but it always does.
Well, one of Flow State's buddies says truth is just a feeling.
I don't hold that view. I think he's insane for that shit.
Hank says that truth is just
why are you trying? Why do you have to stretch that far?
Well, he's one of your buddies
in a light that you know is and you make very racist jokes at him regularly.
Racist? I'm not racist. What do you mean? Racist jokes? What are you talking about?
All the N-bombs you like to drop when you get bored and he's on panel.
I've never called Hank an N-bomb. Not once.
That's not true. That's not true.
An N-bomb? An N?
Yes.
N-I and ending in an R? No, never. I don't think I've ever called him that.
Okay. Well, you know what?
False.
I don't really care nothing.
I don't really care either. I don't know why he has to
what are you
keep
going into
getting
that
fussy.
for?
Yeah,
You're
I'll
getting
tell
way
you what.
off topic.
Hold on. Whatever the fuck beef you guys got, right?
Yeah.
We're in Switzerland right now.
I actually don't care about him enough to have a beef with him. So
I mean, like, I just take whatever comes, whatever, right? So I've watched Flow State and I've gone up on his panel. I gotta say, he's got some fucking dim ass bulbs on there with him sometimes.
Did you have to shower right after you got off there?
Oh my god!
$300.
This is my golden goose right here. You need to come over more.
Yeah, man.
$300.
Like so triggered about shit that he just couldn't fucking deal with it. It was like his whole worldview. It was like his whole worldview was given to him by fucking 60 Minutes or some bullshit.
It's absolutely true.
God.
Absolutely accurate.
It was like I couldn't believe it, and I was like, "No, man."
Well, we agree, Sav. His show sucks.
I wouldn't say it sucks. It could be interesting.
It's got some dumbasses, some dimwits.
Tell us more about the Hell Realm.
The Hell Realm.
Go on my channel. That's all you have to do.
Stephen believes that we live in a hell realm, and
he
that
tries to say what I believe for me.
Okay, well, I asked you to say it first, and you wouldn't.
I just said go on my channel and look into it for yourself rather than listen to Flow State.
Well, why
don't listen to it? Don't listen to a cockroach that has a beef with me. Come on, don't listen.
All right, what did I just say, Stephen?
Well, this guy's trying to put words in my mouth.
No. There's no feud here. You got
no feud. Stop. I'm just defending myself.
Needs to call nobody.
All right. I'm gonna leave then, Sav. I'm live streaming this. I'm gonna go back to my show.
All right, man.
So thanks for having me on, brother.
Good talking to you, Stephen.
Good show. Take it easy. Take care. Bye.
So I'm looking here, and it says that Washington, D.C. is on high alert, and they brought 5,000 troops have been deployed.
For what?
For the inauguration.
No, well, that's no bueno.
Monday, my man.
Way to tee up that
Jesus Trump and the White Hats are coming to save us.
Jesus Trump.
I'm telling you, bro.
It's not having another rally, is he?
Oh,
you know how the last one went,
right?
Well, I don't know. He doesn't. Yeah, I guess it would be like the ultimate rally. You're being inaugurated as the 47th president of the United States.
Might be a good time for another honeypot.
Yeah. So I don't know. Listen, the fat lady hasn't sung yet. You know, and these demons are retching on all levels. This is really what I think is so crazy, is that I'm seeing the demons just retching like just nuts. This, like, especially the last month or so has been like, and I don't even know what the fuck they're doing on Facebook, man. That Billy Madison and a couple of these guys they got over there, it's like the B squad of the junior varsity of trolls. These guys are just like the fucking worst. You know, it's like this guy, Flow State, this is funny as shit. This guy went and looked up pictures of my fucking house from like Google Earth and shit and posted them in there and says, oh, this is where you live and you live at this address. And I was just, well, cool. Are you coming over to visit?
Send a Christmas card?
Yeah, what the fuck? He says, well, you know, you better be careful what you say because people know where you live at. And I said, it's fucking public knowledge, Columbo. You know, it's not like I'm hiding from anybody. All right. And he's like, says, well, somebody's going to come and do something to you. And I says, why would you want that even to happen? Why? What did I do? What it came down to is he told
maybe he's sending you over a stripper.
I don't know, man. I don't care. It's like, I'm just like, what an unhinged fucking asshat. And it's actually been kind of entertaining in a way. He actually wrote an email to the chief of police of our town saying that I was wanting to kill people. And this is why, because I used word magic on him. When I said that, I said,
what word magic did you use?
I said, I've never killed anybody. I says, why? Are you coming over? Are you coming over? Don't worry. I've never killed anybody that didn't deserve it. And he's, oh, you're willing to kill somebody over flat earth. And I'm like, wait a second. You're the one that got unhinged at me because I didn't believe your stupid story about some Egyptian king that proved the earth was a globe. I'm like, it sounds as made up as the fucking Aristophanes guy. You know, what the fuck? Guy counted 500 miles by counting his footsteps and shit. It was like, bro.
Did you say he went by Billy Madison?
Yeah, Billy Madison. He's over.
Did he graduate high school yet?
Listen, he's about as dumb as that Billy Madison was too. And I really, there's a few things that Adam Sandler has, where I found it funny and shit. But for the most part, I don't know. He's kind of irritating. You know,
I thought Billy Madison was hilarious.
What a vehement fucking Zionist he is. What a rabid Zionist he is. I was like, this guy makes me fucking sick to look at.
Yeah, if you're gonna look for political beliefs in your actors, you might as well just sell the TV.
Well, no, it's not that. It's like keep them to yourself or something. I mean, I always thought he acted like uber Jewy, you know. Anyway. But then to see him come out like that in social media and start spouting this fucking hatred bullshit and Jewish.
What was he spouting? I must have missed that.
Oh, he's going on about the fucking Palestinians and shit. This was a while back. And I was like, dude, you need to get a grip on yourself, man. You're a disgusting individual, you know. Anybody that's going to preach superiority based on their fucking genetics is a screwball in the first fucking place. That's like judging the rating of a car based on its fucking paint. You know, it's like, oh yeah, red cars are always better than blue cars. You know what?
They'll take your insurance up though.
You know? And especially if you go in there and sabotage it to make your point with it, try to sabotage it to make your point to it. So you go around and fucking let the air out of all the blue cars so that they're not as good. Or you put fucking glue in the motor or some shit, try to fuck it up. And that's exactly how they run this fucking game on us. You know, it's like, and people start falling into that mold, just like the Asch experiment, right?
I
So
don't know
look,
that one.
like in the black community, I've seen where it goes, "Oh, why are you trying to act so white?" You
Oh
know,
yeah,
that kind of bullshit. And it's
crabs
like,
in a bucket
how
shit.
do you act a color, right? And they'll meld along with that, where if they're ridiculed or scorned for trying to do well or whatever, they say, "Oh, you just think you're better than everybody. You're just kissing up to Whitey and all this other bullshit." It's like, no, man, I'm just trying to do like people do. Why is everything always got to be about race? And you've got this with everybody. And I just don't get it. Well, I do get it. I know why it's there. And I know why it's easy to get the fucking lemmings to go along with it. People always want to be part of some kind of shit. That's what it is. And it's like, well,
Have you been watching me lately? I've stirred up a little bit of a hornet's nest in the black community debating mostly like red pill topics, but on black panels.
Oh Lord.
And and when they get put on their heels, what they go to is, well, you shouldn't even be speaking on this. This is a black issue and you're white, which it's absolutely not. It's just an attempt at.
Yeah. I remember you had that one guy. He was, what the fuck was his name? It was a black dude that was all the time, Reggie or some shit like that. What was that guy? He was like a preacher guy. And he was like, everything was racism. Everything was racism.
Oh, RBR.
Yeah, RBR, that guy.
He died. Yeah. Rest in peace, RBR.
No way, really?
Yeah, he died.
Oh shit.
Probably. I mean, I think from that thing, because he got cancer and he went pretty quick.
Oh yeah, listen.
The magically appearing fast cancer.
Yeah. Here's some video out of DC of these troops. It's making quite a show of it, man. Check this out. This shit ain't even happening yet, man. This is only Thursday.
They decide to go look for the pipe bomber.
This is Salvation Army.
I was wondering where those red hats were from.
Guardian Angels.
Guardian Angels, there you go. Curtis Steele. Jesus. What do they think is going to happen? I mean, that's just nuts, man. What do they think is going to even happen? So what do you think about those wildfires, Flow State?
At first I was 100% convinced that they were just clearing the land, but I didn't really know a lot about ecology. Like, I think that now I'm thinking it might be a natural effect of us not having had any fires over the years for a long period of time and built up under, I don't know.
Well, there's some real crazy anomalies that are just like in Lahaina, just like in Paradise, where the houses are completely decimated.
What do you know about, because I got into an argument about this the other day. What do you know about salt water as a fire extinguisher? Why would you not use salt water?
Okay, well, from what I understand,
it'll rust the pumps and the equipment.
It's
seems like a reasonable sacrifice.
In a naval situation, they will use that. Okay, but it will fry any electronics that it gets on. All right. The thing is that if you supposedly use seawater to put out fires, or even when it floods inland, it destroys the agricultural ability of the soil because of the salts, and nothing will grow there anymore.
But we're talking about city.
Well, I mean, we're talking about lawns, we're talking about parks, we're talking about trees and things like that. So I don't know. That's the reason that I was told. I know that in ancient times, the Romans, if they wanted to fuck somebody up bad, they would salt their land so that they couldn't grow crops and shit. So
I gotta think that that's less toxic than all the chemicals that are melting into the.
Well, that and what's that red shit that they drop?
that they're dropping. Yeah.
I've always wondered what, would that, 10, 20, 30 years down the road, those guys going to, did you have this red shit dropped on you? Then you
right. You may be entitled to.
Yeah. Just wait.
It's adrenochrome.
Yeah. Right. But here's the
just
thing.
dropping their supply.
Another anomaly with this blue shit. And we saw this in these other fires too, that the blues for some reason isn't affected. And look, you can't tell me this wasn't intentional. Okay, they know what the fire season is about and everything. The reservoir being empty, what the fuck is that about? Everything that it looks as though this was intentional.
The insurance timing is really.
Yep, the rezoning. They had passed, I think, 4 or 5 months ago, zoning laws that nobody can build anything along the 101.
And it's like they're bringing in like the Mexican army and stuff. It's like we've got our own National Guard and stuff. It's like,
well,
that'd be the time to deploy. Like,
yeah,
something.
I mean, we've got that, and they've got the whole thing that they've been advertising about the Smart LA 2028, and having that kind of a city or whatever.
How smart are they proposing?
Like one of the almost like one of these
cities.
Yeah, 15-minute city. Klaus Schwab was even talking about that they that in LA by 2028 or 2030, he said, I forget, I have the clip here someplace, but he was talking about that there won't be any more freeways, no privately driven cars, that everybody's going to be on doing calling these self-driving cars to pick them up and take them to different places and shit like that. And of course, that's going to be tied to a social credit score and all that shit, just like they're already doing in China. So
I feel like some of that is like a fear tactic psyop.
There's Charlie Brownow. What's going on, my man?
Where's Snoopy?
Where's Snoopy at?
Hey, not much, man. Just been shopping, been interacting with the sheeple.
You're interacting with the sheeple. All right, good to go. Good to go. It's always
They're
fun.
pretty much like zombies in Brisbane these days. It's a bit depressing out there, out and about.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. I run into a lot of people. Unfortunately, you've come here. I'm only going to be on another 5 minutes here.
Oh, good. Still talking about the fire sale, or?
Oh, well, hell yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then Newsom. Let me see if I can find it. I have that clip of him, I think, where they're interviewing him about these recent acquisition, people trying to come in and buy the land, and he's like doing this really crazy rocking back and forth bullshit. Let's see if I can find
that's the typical Jew thing, they go backwards and forwards,
rub their hands together.
Well, no, not forward backward like this. He's like doing this thing, like he's almost like doing a little happy dance inside.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really weird. I can't. Damn it, where is it?
I saw one clip yesterday, and they were talking about it on the news, and they sort of like let slip going, we planned the fire. I mean, the accident.
We started the fire, yeah.
Yeah, since we started the fire, I just passed by that one where that guy. We're further ahead than when we first started this fire. This is this guy right here.
Going to be a journey to
It's the same thing everywhere. Like Melbourne in Australia had a fire thing.
Yeah.
You had fires over in America, and then you've got these recent ones in California. It's the same pattern.
Now in REM, Be nice now. We have to be inclusive.
Mental and physical health first before we embark upon what is going to be a journey to rebuild these communities back and rebuild them better than they were when we started this fire. Mental and physical.
Build back better. That's the motto, isn't it?
That was a pretty good slip right there. That was one of the better ones.
There's been a few. Even with Newsom talking about meeting with these speculators. Gavin Newsom states that California has speculators coming in, buying up properties. People need to understand that this was the plan all along. And let's see what we can notice about this little group of speculators. Oh, what's them funny little fucking hats they wearing? Huh.
They put them on the wrong
They
way.
all got their shame muzzles on too.
Yeah, of course. That way you can't recognize them. Well, California, they initiated a thing about the bird flu out there. So they've already, because they said they found 2 cases of people with bird flu or some shit. I don't know.
It's happening in Australia and Queensland as well. They're going around to small independent chicken farms and they're testing them. And so the birds are perfectly fine until they get tested. And then they're suddenly positive to the bird flu. And then it's like, oh, well, we've got to kill all these birds. But they don't actually go around to the large corporations that are like mass bun producing chickens. It's only the smaller independent operators they're going after at the moment.
Yeah. Here's what I was talking about. Flow State. Smart LA 2028. And you look here at this date down here at the bottom, says December 2020. So this was, an envisioned thing back 5 years ago, before any of this.
Oh, yeah.
Now and also they're planning on the Olympics being there in 2028. And that's when they want to have everything rebuilt by. That's what they're shooting for. Newsom said something about they have a Marshall Plan in place. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like the Marshall Plan or Marshall SH or Marshall with a T? What the fuck are you talking about there, Newsom? You coked up bastard. So everything about this shows foreknowledge and goes right along with the WEF Klaus Schwab nonsense that he was talking about. I think I got a video of him saying this shit here someplace. This thing's been going on for so long now. I got a lot of shit about it. But did that get gone? No. Okay.
Did you see that they're all promoting that Trump's turning up to Davos next year and they're all happy about it?
That he's doing what?
Turning up to a Davos meeting next year.
Oh, I bet I don't know. How's that going to go? Do they really want him at a Davos meeting? You don't think he would capitulate to those fucks, do you? I don't know. I see him as like...
You don't think he would?
He'd probably troll it for sure.
I think he is one of those fucks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely is. But he's got to play
in the club.
He's got to play this fucking thing right. He really does.
No, he doesn't. He just has to make a splash. He just has to do something sensational, tweet something rude. Look over here.
Yeah. While we do all these things over here, I look over on this one thing. Yeah.
Is this the one?
They're eating the snowman.
Talking about the looting. I can't find that fucking thing now. Damn it. Oh well. I hate it. I got to get off of here anyways. I got to get up dark and early and go to work tomorrow. So I'm going to go around, give last words out. We'll start with Flow State. I'll go to Charlie Brown, then finally Chad up here, and then I'll sign out.
Thanks for having me up. It's always a pleasure. Salute to the chat. King Stephen, I'm sorry that you felt threatened and ran away, but hopefully in the future we can be friends. When you brush the sand out of your vagina, I do. Monday, I have a debate coming up on someone else's channel that you might be interested in. Did we land on the moon? And I'm on the no team, so I'll drop a link backstage if you're interested in that. And
do that.
All right. And that's all I got.
All right. Yeah, I'll definitely watch that Flow State. That'd be pretty good. I'd like to see what you've got on that. There are so many problems with that, including if you look at the Apollo capsule and they have in the museum and it's all scorched up and shit, you know, because it went through reentry. Take a careful look at the handles that you grab onto to go in and get into the capsule itself. They're not scorched or touched or any problems with them whatsoever. It's like, how in the fuck did they escape getting scorched? But the rest, it's almost like somebody went up with a blowtorch and did the shit, you know?
There's so many issues all the way through, but yeah, it's me and if you know the channel made by Jim Bob, it's me and Jim Bob versus another two. So, anyways, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me up.
be sure and ask them how they were able to successfully violate the second law of thermodynamics.
By doing which part?
Well, by leaving the contained system that we are obviously in because of the fact that we couldn't have air without containment.
Oh, right. I think I see, and that's. I don't know that I haven't decided all the way yet, but I don't know that I want to make it a bigger debate than what it is. I think that
that actually ends it because
it ends it, but it's a bigger claim, and it will be harder for me to convince a whole audience of YouTube,
right?
Than is the lesser claim that we didn't go to the moon. So I probably won't use that argument, but it's not entirely off the table for sure.
Right. Well, it's always a good card to pull. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
See you, man.
Charlie Brown, what's up, buddy?
Not much. Just like to say to everyone, never give up on finding the truth, even if it smashes the previous axioms. The truth fears no investigation, and we should, as a people, head straight into discovering it.
Oh, there's that thing. I'm going to go ahead and put it out here. I'll put this in the chat. This is where Flow State is going to be on this debate on whether or not they went to the moon. Let me put it over here in the regular chat.
Is he on Rumble or Odyssey as well, or is he just on censorship?
On YouTube. That's the link he just gave me. And let me see here. I'm going to put it over in the Rumble chat as well for anyone interested. There we go. All right. And Chad, what do you got for us tonight?
Well, thanks for having me again. It's always good coming up here. I would just say shout out to the chat too. I don't really pay much attention to it when I'm up on here, but I know they're out there, you know, chatting it up. But yeah, don't be the guy that just goes along to get along. You know, if you don't get into the party, it's all right, man.
Right.
So everybody have a good night.
All right. Thanks for coming up, guys.
Good night, everyone. Have a good one.
All right, everybody. Thank you for showing up in the chat here. We've I don't not remember if I did shout outs or not. I'm sorry if I didn't. A lot of the regulars that were here, Peter W. There's one I haven't seen in a little bit. Got some new people too in here too. It's good to see everybody. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. I should be doing a show with Burn the Corporate Fiction tomorrow night, and then I'll have my own show again Saturday. So be sure and make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell notification so that you're hopefully by the graces of YouTube notified of this show. And never forget, the Lord loves a working man. Don't trust Whitey. See your doctor and get rid of him. And if you heard the shot, it wasn't meant for you. See you next time on Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. Good night, everybody. Say good night. Say good night, something wrong. He said it. He's kind of quiet talker. Good night, everybody.
Hey, how all you glow-tards doing? Just wanted to check in from how you were doing when you all learned about me when you were just little wee little ones, and you were too stupid to question anything, and you know, just wanted to check in and make sure you still believed in me. You still believe in me, right? You better still believe in me, because if you don't, I'm gonna call you names, like you still live in your mama's basement, and you better not breed. That's okay. I know know you still believe in me.